HR Audit. HR audits evaluate HR activities and practices of an organization. Through HR Audit, the organization tries to find out whether its HR activities and practices are in good shape or not. It is an overall quality control check for all HR activities within a division or throughout the entire organization. HR audit can be defined as the process of evaluating HR policies, procedures, and practices of an organization. HR audit can be carried out by the internal HR specialists of an organization or by external specialists or consultants. HR auditors must have the required skills, competence, and experience. The auditor should enjoy full independence in conducting the audit activities. There should be no external interference. There are no fixed rules regarding how often HR audits should be conducted. Frequency will depend on each organization's circumstances. For example, organization may arrange an overall annual audit of all HR policies and practices. On the other hand, certain indicators, such as absenteeism and HR turnover, can be audited at the end of every month or quarter. HR Audit Phases. As already discussed, there are no fixed rules regarding how HR audits should be conducted. However, HR audit process may ideally have 3 sequential phases. 1. Pre-audit information. 2. Pre-audit self-assessment. And 3. On-site audit. Pre-audit information. This phase involves reviewing all HR manuals, HR policies, HR procedures, and employee handbooks of the organization. Pre-audit self-assessment. For pre-audit self-assessment, a questionnaire can be prepared by HR auditors. Auditors will ask relevant individuals or teams to complete the questionnaire. It may include a number of questions regarding HR policies and practices. On-site audit. On-site audit is the final phase of the audit process. On-site audit involves interviewing the employees. Through interview, employees will provide their feedback on different HR policies, practices, and functions of the organization. The auditor will conduct in-depth reviews in the light of information gathered during previous phases. There is no globally accepted standard format or approach for conducting HR audits. Rules and procedures for HR audits are not specific in the same way they are for financial audits. Due to this, a number of challenges may arise. During on-site HR audit, different employees are interviewed. Sometimes, employees may not voice their opinions due to fear of reprisals. Sometimes employees may wrongly perceive that the HR audit is an assessment of their individual performance. So the organization needs to educate its employees regarding the objectives of HR audits. Scope of HR audit. The scope of the HR audit will vary. HR audit can be conducted to find out whether the organization is complying with relevant employment regulations and labor laws of the country. HR audit can also be utilized as a tool to evaluate whether HR activities support the organization's business strategy. It is more common for HR audits to be function-specific. HR audit can cover all HR functions, or the audit can be specifically focused on just a few HR functions. In order to carry out a function-specific HR audit, an HR auditor will first identify the functional areas that need to be audited. Then, a list of the indicators that will analyze the HR function will be prepared. This list of indicators will correspond to different areas of HR functions. An example of function-specific HR audit is auditing the human resource planning function of an organization. The auditor will evaluate a list of indicators related to human resource planning function. An example of these indicators is the methods used by the organization to forecast the organization's future HR demand and HR supply. HR planning is just one of many HR functions. HR auditors will audit other HR functions as per requirement of the organization. For example, HR auditors can audit reward practices, learning and development function, recruitment and selection function of the organization. At the end, HR audit process will help the organization to improve its HR functions.